Hello everyone, welcome to my story. Today we have Monk Sander to be our teaching monk. And let everyone pay respect to our teaching monk all together. Bow, bow, bow.
Hello, everybody. How have you all been? I don't think we have a ceremony master of ceremony today, or somebody to guide the program. So I'll just start. So as I've understood, we have the meditation, and then after that, we have a short moment of reflection at the end. And well, it's always nice to meditate with all of you coming from very different places in the world. And I don't often find myself in such an international company. Usually I teach in Europe, and even when I teach online, it's usually for Europeans. So it is always nice to have the opportunity to teach to a more wider audience. So for those of you who do not know me yet, my name is LP Sander or Pa Sander, Monk Sander, and I'm coming from the Netherlands. I have been a monk in Dhammakaya for a long time now, but it's most for the last period has been mostly in Europe, and before that it was in Thailand. Yeah. All right. Good afternoon, good evening to some of you. All those living in Asia, it's already evening. Just take a bit of water. I just had a big lunch. So where are you all from? Anybody from Europe here? Okay, we have somebody from Europe, and anybody from Asia. There, I think there's a button that you can raise your hands. I think it's the react button. Oh, from Nigeria. Okay. And many people here from Africa? Okay. From Slovenia, from England. Okay. Okay. Many people from different places. Good to see. I always like to work together with people from Peace Revolution. They always have very, very idealistic people with many good projects going on. So I have a story to mention as well. From Africa, right? I have a story to talk about at the end, talking about idealism and sticking to your ideals. But we'll come back to that later. All right. Well, many of you have very long surnames. I see that. But I also have a very long surname before I became a monk. I once told somebody that they wanted to write down a username or something on the phone, and they wanted to write something down. And I told them my monastic name, Kemadamo. My monastic name is Kemadamo. And then they wrote down my monastic name, but they had difficulty spelling it. And then they asked, "Don't you have a Dutch name?" And then I said, "Delma, you want to have my surname? You want to have my surname? My surname is Oudenamsen." And then they said, "Never mind, give me your monastic name." So it's is kind of I'm quite familiar with long surnames. All right, I think there's a few of you also from East Asia. Is that right? And okay, that's good. Any somebody from Pacific? What does PC stand for? Is that just the fact that you're using your personal computer, or I see a lot of people with the word PC? Sorry if I misunderstand. Anyway, oh, it's the Peace Club. Ah, that's a very good idea. Peace Club. I like that. It's good to have a Peace Club. You know, I was thinking of once thought of setting up a Buddhist club in my university. We started out with a meditation group, and I set up this meditation group together with a friend of mine, and it ran all the way up until about a few years ago when they dissolved it, because there were other groups as well, and they no longer felt it was necessary. So this is like over 20 years. This group was existed for over 20 years. So it's very important to have this kind of club to come back to. I'm familiar with these kind of clubs in the university, but I'm sure that we can set up these clubs in any context. That's very good. Ah, from Uganda. Okay. Yeah. I remember being there was a monk. I think he's still there. Yeah, he has a meditation center there. His name is Buddharakita. Do you know about his monastery? I'm sure that you must have heard about it. He's been in many news reports and documentaries. He also wrote a very nice book in which he talked about bringing Buddhism to Africa for the first time, including meditation, of course. But it was quite funny to read. He had all these funny anecdotes. He said that he was going with an alms bowl, which is kind of like a sort of a black iron bowl, and he was going for asking for food in the villages. And this was a place in Uganda where they were not used to Buddhism. So they had some of the people, they asked him, "How much do you sell the bowl for?" Well, how much do you want for it? And then some other people said that they were afraid that he was carrying some kind of bomb or something. Anyway, that's just the stories that he told. Maybe he just tried to find some funny anecdote. Anyway, it's a very looks like a very promising initiative, and very big. Very many people have been already become monk there or nuns at his temple. It's very good to see those images and to see that happening there. Well, okay. We've been talking a bit now. Let's continue with the meditation. Just before we start, can you hear me clearly? Because I put I have this big microphone. It's very big, so I put it down below, but I'm not sure if you can still hear me. Is it clear? Okay. Good. I'm just finishing my water here. The weather is a bit dry and cold here. I have to make sure we stay dehydrated. We stay hydrated, sorry. Okay. So if you are sitting down already, just get yourself a good place, a good space to sit. Make sure that you have nothing to worry about. Anything that you want to switch off, you can switch it off. Anything you want to switch on, you can switch it on. And then let's take the time to meditate. We're going to meditate for a bit longer. So let's just take the time. Let's not rush. Take a bit of time to find yourself a good posture. Find that you are seated properly. And let's continue by breathing in deeply and breathing out slowly a couple of times. When we are breathing in, we can check whether our blood circulation and our breathing are not disturbed, whether our blood circulation and our breathing are flowing smoothly. Once we have made sure of that, we then continue with relaxing our body and mind, starting with imagining that we've just had a shower or a bath, and we feel quite at ease and comfortable, feeling that our body is completely relaxed, completely relaxing. We might imagine that there is a flow of relaxation going through our entire body, from the top of our head to the tips of our toes. We can feel our head and forehead relaxing. We can feel our eyes becoming soft. We can feel our jaws and neck relaxing. And the flow of relaxation moves into our shoulders, going through our arms, all the way to our hands. We feel our chest and abdomen relaxing. We feel our back relaxing, as well as our hips, our legs, our knees, feet and toes. Now, if there's still any place, any part of your body which feels tense, you can try to attend to that place. Give it some space. Give the tension some space. And allow the tension to gradually dissipate, diffuse, allowing the tension to completely fade away into the atmosphere. Now that we have spent a bit of time relaxing our body, we can then continue relaxing our mind, allowing our mind to fully relax. We become aware of all our frustrations, all our fears, our worries, concerns. Whatever comes up in our mind, we think of all those thoughts as clouds in the sky. They are like clouds in the sky that come and go. And they may linger for a while, but after a while, they always disappear. Our thoughts are like the clouds in the sky. We don't need to resist them. We don't need to follow them around. We just allow them to come, to linger for a while, and then they will disappear. We don't need to be too concerned about anything. Allowing our mind to gradually become more open, more spacious, more still, as our thoughts become less active. Sometimes we may feel the need to search for more peace, to search for more relaxation within us. But there's no need to do that. If we feel a little peaceful, we are content with that. If we are very peaceful, we are also content. It doesn't matter. All the good things in meditation will come to us. We don't need to search for anything, nor struggle to find some peace. We first start by accepting ourselves. This is what our abbot, Lumpal Tamachayo, he calls this yom, meaning that we allow ourselves to be like we are. We can't just force our thoughts out. And then the second step is yut. Yut means that we allow our mind to still, to become more still, and eventually to come to a standstill within, when the thoughts become less and less active. When there is yom and there is yut, then there is also yen. Yen means to be peaceful. It also means to be patient towards oneself. When there is yen, we feel that meditation has brought us happiness. And we can feel like we can sit for a long time. Now, when we are sitting for a long time, we might feel as though our body is gradually becoming one with the atmosphere around us, as though the borders of our body are gradually disappearing, as though we are gradually blending in with the atmosphere. We then remember the center space within. We are already familiar with the center of the body, so we don't need to do a lot or to put in a lot of effort. We simply just reconfirm the existence of the center space with a soft and gentle awareness. Very soft, very gentle. We softly and gently connect with the center space. But if we are still struggling to find the center sometimes, we can follow our breath for a while, and at the end of the movement of the breath, while we can feel that our in-breath is ending and our out-breath is starting, we can then feel the center space within at the end of our breath. In this way, we can gradually connect with the center in a natural manner. Regardless, it may be sometimes that when we are trying to connect with the center, we try too hard and we become tense. If that is the case, we should back off a little. We should back off a little and then very softly and gently give ourselves a bit more space, allow ourselves a bit more leeway, and then gradually reconnect with the center when we are ready. Perhaps it is necessary to relax a little bit more. We do not need to rush into meditation. Allow our mind and body to fully relax first. But if, on the other hand, we are often distracted, we can connect with the center. That is not a problem. But we become distracted, or maybe we fall asleep. If that is the case, there is no need to be ashamed, but we should try to deal with that. One way to deal with that is by increasing the connection with the center. We can, for example, allow a little image to appear at the center. It could be a little sun or a little moon shining within. The moon helps us to connect with the center. But since most of us are still at midday or in the afternoon, we can also imagine a sun, allowing the sun to appear within. Now, when I say this, it's important to notice that the sun or the moon may not be the exact shape. It may not be the exact shape or form that we like. Or maybe it may not be as clear as we'd expect it to be. Or maybe it's larger than we'd expect it to be. So if that is the case, we have to accept it. We just work with what we have and allow the memory, allow the image to appear as it wants to appear. We don't need to change the image. But then some people prefer to listen to a mantra. For example, the words clear and bright, clear and bright, clear and bright. These words help us to connect. Now, if we are listening to the mantra, it may be that after a while, we are no longer needing the mantra. We no longer need it. In that case, we can just simply rest, be aware of the center space within. We do not need to use the mantra anymore. But if we become distracted again, we can continue using the mantra if we like. Regardless of what we do, we can gradually learn to find a balance, feeling at ease and relaxed, but also aware of the center space within. When these two things are combined, the meditation will deepen. We will find that our mind becomes gradually more refined, as the mind connects and our awareness deepens. Sometimes we are a bit tense and then we relax a bit. Sometimes we are a bit distracted and then we connect with the center a bit more. We continue to find the balance, but once we feel at ease, that means we have found the balance. Once we feel content, it means we are now balanced. When we are balanced, the mind can gradually deepen. The experience of meditation will gradually improve. So let us practice together in silence for these very precious moments. Now, after a while, it may be that sometimes we have the feeling as though our mind is suddenly falling down, as though we are in an air pocket while sitting in an airplane. The mind is just falling down like that. And sometimes it may be that there is a light that is shining from within, and we wonder where that light is coming from. These experiences may occur sometimes, and they are a good sign that our meditation is becoming more deeper. But we do not need to be concerned. We simply just let it happen. We do not need to search for it, to seek for it. We simply just allow it to happen. And when there is any light appearing, we just simply bring it back to the center, or simply just let it be. Allowing everything to happen without pushing anything out, but also not becoming elated with our experiences. This takes some practice, but eventually we will be able to find the right balance. Let us practice together in silence. clear and bright, clear and bright, clear and bright. While we are still continuing the meditation, we can take some time before we wrap up the meditation to dedicate our peace, our inner peace, to all those who are dear to us and to all living beings in this world. So we are now still meditating, being aware at the center, and we feel how the peace within has gradually grown, and we allow ourselves to feel this peace. We smile to ourselves, allowing us to be experiencing this peace, this happiness within. And while we are experiencing this, we may feel as though the inner peace within is gradually permeating our entire body, as though our entire body and mind are completely suffused with this sense of peace. And then we become aware of all the people living in our house that we are now, all the people who are living in the same space as us. And we are sharing this peace with them. We allow them to feel this peace. We allow them to partake in this light of peace. And then we become aware of all the people living in our street, our neighbors close by and farther. We are sharing this peace with them. May they also experience the peace within. May they also partake in this light of peace. We become aware of all our neighbors in this neighborhood, all the people that we know and maybe don't know, and we share this peace with them. May they partake in the light of peace. And the peace always comes from our center. The farther it goes, it still comes from our center. Then we become aware of all the people living in our town, village, or city. All the people living here that we know and that we don't know. And we feel that we are now sharing this peace with everybody. May each and every one feel this peace within. Partake in the light of peace. We then become aware of all the people living in our area, and we share this light of peace with them. All the people living in our county or province, if you will. All the people living in our country, as far as we can imagine. Now, we don't need to imagine a map. We can simply just feel the peace expanding from the center and imagine it to go farther and farther to all the people in the world, the people that we know and don't know, the people that we like, but even also the people that we don't like. May each and everyone in this world be happy, be free from suffering. May there be no hatred. May no one hate or hurt another. May all be happy and healthy. May all be free from suffering and find the wise path to happiness. Each and everyone in this world, in every corner, in every part of the world, whatever people look like, whatever they may believe in, may all be happy, may all be free from suffering. Even the animals, the birds, the mammals, and the fish, may they all be happy and free from suffering. We allow the light of peace within to expand outwards to all our fellow human beings that are fellows on the spiritual journey through life, through aging, through sickness, through death. All the people in this world that have happiness as their ultimate wish. May each and everyone be happy and be free from suffering. May there be peace in this world. Then we gradually come to the end of this meditation. While we are still aware of the center space within, we gradually come back to our senses again. We can hear the sounds around us. We can feel the seat on which we're sitting, and we can feel our body again. And before we open our eyes, we are reminded that we can always bring this peace everywhere we go. We can always go back to the center, wherever we are, whenever we are, to give us a sense of peace and a sense of poise in our daily lives. Then we gradually open our eyes at the end of this meditation.
Thank you very much, Lumpi Sander, for guiding us today. And now is our photo sessions. I'd like to invite everyone to open the webcam so that we can take photo together. Smile, keep smiling. Okay, done. So I'd like to pass back the sessions to Lumpi Sander. So if you have anything you'd like to ask Lumpi Sander, you may send it to the chat box now.
So how have you been? How was the meditation? Anybody felt quite peaceful? Could you raise your hand? Anybody who felt a little bit peaceful, but sometimes a little restless? Okay. Anybody who felt restless? Restless all through? No? And how about the center? Could you connect with the center to some extent? Okay, a little bit. All right. Good to see you all. Good. And how about well, imagining the sun. Anybody imagining the sun today? Okay. Anybody going for the moon? No. Or perhaps another meditation object. Okay. Oh, good. The sun worked for you. That's good to hear. All right. Today I have a little story to tell at the end of this session. This story is from the Buddhist texts, but it's very universal, I think. It's about a banker and a robber. Sometimes they can be the same person. But in this case, it's a different person. Now, in this story, there is a city, and this just to give you a sense of what I mean by banker. In the time of the Buddha, there were these wealthy individuals who helped support initiatives, helped support projects. They were like the financial heart of the country. So the word banker may not really apply, but you could say something like a wealthy merchant. Yeah. So let's just call him a merchant because we don't know his name. And one day he was coming home. He was noticing, he was just going out of the city in the morning. And he noticed that this city, it had a wall, like many cities did in ancient times, right? So he noticed that there was a robber who was sleeping at the outside of the wall of the city. So he thought to himself, well, the robber was probably too late to get into the city, because in those days, the city walls were closing in at night. They were closed at night. So you could not get in if you were too late. So he was just looking at that, and then he just said to him, "Oh, you were too late to get into the city," and that's all he said. And he didn't think much of it. He was just greeting the robber. He didn't know he was a robber. And then the robber, he was very angry because he thought he's looking down on me. He thought all these things. He thought of all these stories. It's like a mind story, but not a very good one. Like this program is a good program, but this is like a not very good mind story. So this robber, he has a lot of stories in his mind, and they are not very good stories. So he thought to himself, I'm going to take revenge on this wealthy merchant because he's not respectful to me. So he looked for the place where he was living, this merchant, in the city. And then he burned all his fields, all the fields that he had. And then the merchant was just fine. He didn't say anything. He wasn't sad. He knew that sometimes we lose things. It's a normal thing of life. And he was always very happy because he had this Buddha that he took care of. It was a Buddha. It was the Buddha Kassapa. And he always took care of him. So he was just doing good things. He was happy doing good. And so he didn't care about a few fields that were burned. He didn't care about that. It's just, material things. So, the robber, he was even more angry because he couldn't make the merchant any worse, right? So he thought, well, if I can't hurt him by burning his fields, then I will hurt his cattle. So he started to kill all the cattle, so all the cows and so on. And then, but then the merchant was still, okay, maybe somebody killed my cattle, but I'm still very happy to take care of the Buddha Kassapa, and I'd always do a lot of good things, so I'm happy. I don't care. And then the robber, he thought, well, if I can't make him angry like this, I will do something else. I will burn his house. And though the house of the merchant was burned down to the ground, this was a very bad thing to happen. But the wealthy merchant, he was okay. He didn't mind. We'll find another way. He'll just live somewhere else for the moment. And it didn't bother him. And the robber got even more angry. And then he thought, I have to find a way to hurt this merchant, to hurt him. So then he thought to himself, I must hurt him in a way that he really is hurt, something that he really cares about. What could I hurt him in that he really cares about? And then he thought, he understood. He likes to take care of this Buddha. And this Buddha, he's living in a little kuti. You know what a kuti is? It's like a little hut where a monk lives. So he then thought, I'm going to destroy this kuti. This is what I'm going to do. And then he will be really sad. And then I will have taken my revenge. And so he then burned down this, and he then secretly burned down this kuti. Now, all of this time, the merchant still didn't know who was the one hurting him. He didn't know because he hadn't taken any stock. He hadn't noticed who he had hurt, or he hadn't noticed that because, it was just a remark to a person sleeping outside of the city walls. He didn't think much of it. And to be honest, he didn't say anything bad. So he didn't notice, he didn't take stock of who was angry with him. So he still didn't know. So then the kuti of the Buddha was burned down. But then the next day, the merchant was very happy. Why? He was so happy because he could do a good karma again. He could build a new kuti for the Buddha. So he was so happy because the old kuti, it was burned down. So now he could build a new kuti. So he was very happy. Oh, I don't know who burned down this kuti, but I'm so happy that I can build a new one. Now the robber was very angry, because instead of hurting the merchant, he had actually made him happy. This was like salt on his wounds. He hadn't hurt him at all. He was just happier. So then the robber really was angry. Now, when you are very angry, you cannot think of any reasonable thing anymore. So this time, since the merchant was planning to have a celebration because he had just built a new kuti for the Buddha, he was going to have a celebration, and a lot of people were joining this celebration. And then the robber thought to himself, I'm going to kill him. this merchant, this terrible man, I'm going to kill him. And so he prepared a knife and he was going to kill this merchant. But during the celebration, just when the robber was preparing to step forward to kill this merchant, because he no longer cared about being anonymous anymore, he just wanted to kill him. But just at that moment, the merchant, he was talking about this great celebration, he was talking about this great occasion, and he was thanking the person who burned down the old kuti. He was saying, wow, I'm so happy that somebody took the effort to burn down the old kuti, because now I've been able to build a new kuti. So I really want to thank you in my heart for burning down this kuti. And so the robber now, he thought to himself, wow, he really has thanked me now. And then it occurred to him that he was just a good man, this merchant. And something in him changed. It was just a lot of things coming together, and now something in him changed, and he regretted. He regretted everything he had done. He burned the fields, he burned the cattle, he burned the house, and he burned the kuti, but everything he regretted now. So it really filled his heart and a lot of regret, remorse. So he came forward and he said to the merchant, he threw down the knife and he said to the merchant, I was going to hurt you and I was trying to hurt you, but I did so many things wrong. I'm asking for your forgiveness. And the merchant said, for what? No problem. And he forgave him. So this story may be a bit extreme, but it does show something. It shows that there is always something good to be found in when things go wrong. If we try to look at the bright side of things, we can often find strength to carry on. We can find strength, and we can learn to think positively and look at the bright side of things. It's something you can train by actively paying attention to the situation and trying to look at the whole side of things. So when we are trying to practice like this, it will help us a lot, because we will not only find courage, but it sometimes helps us to not look at things too dark when we are disappointed, but finding a more balanced perspective, even when things go wrong. There is a term in psychology called negativity bias. It's the tendency that we have as people to try to always look for the dangers and things that go wrong. I think that is some things these days, they sometimes call it doom scrolling. So sometimes we are looking at all the things that go wrong, and because of that, we tend to have a bias towards things that are negative. So basically what this story shows is that we can find the positives in many things. And if we stick to the good things we do, we stick to all the goodness that we can do in our lives, we reflect every day and think to ourselves, I have another day to live. I have one more day to do good for ourselves and other human beings. So if we think like this, even if people want to hurt us, it doesn't really hurt us that much, because we have so many good things to look at. This is all I'd like to share with you today. I think we ran out of time already. I really like your comments. You are all very positive. And I'm very happy to have been meditating with you. And now I will wrap up today's session. If there is nothing more that the staff wants to announce, then I will close the session of today. Oh, actually, I can't. Can I close it? I can't. I don't know if I can close it. But for me, this is the wrap up, and thank you for joining us. And maybe next time to see you again on Mind Stories. So keep up the meditation practice and take good care.
Thank
I'd
you
like
very
to
much.
give you a blessing. May you find happiness and wisdom in your life. May you always look on the bright side of things, yet being realistic when it comes to matters that are important. When you always find wisdom and wise people on your path in every life until awakening. Sadhu.
Thank you so much, Miss Sander, for the blessing, and thank you everyone for joining us today. So see all of you again on coming Thursday. Bye. Have a good day.